In the tiny, arid village of Zareen, where red dust coated every path and hunger lingered in many households, there lived a young woman named Noor. At just 22, her eyes carried the burden of countless hardships. After her mother's passing 5 years earlier, Noor's life had been devoid of tranquility. Her father, Mr. Ismail, once a gentle farmer, had transformed into a harsh drunkard. To make matters worse, he married a spiteful woman named Mrs. Zainab, who despised Noor with a fierce intensity. They forced her to cook, gather firewood, clean the yard, and toil on the farm from sunrise to sunset, often leaving her to sleep without a meal. The villagers pitied her, but fear of Mr. Ismail's wrath kept them silent. No one dared confront his cruelty. Then came Zuffer, a young man from the city. His clothes were worn, his shoes tattered, but his gaze was keen. For 3 months, he labored on Mr. Ismail's farm, cutting weeds, planting cassava, and hauling heavy loads from dawn to dusk. Yet, despite his efforts, Mr. Ismail refused to pay him. "Come back next week. I'll pay you when I sell something," he'd say, but the promise was never fulfilled. One sweltering afternoon, Zuffer, exhausted and frustrated, approached the house. "Sir, I need my wages today," he demanded. Mr. Ismail scratched his head, glanced around, and his eyes landed on Noor, who was sweeping the yard with a weary expression. A cruel laugh escaped him. "You want payment?" he asked. "Yes, sir, I've worked 3 months. Please pay me," Zuffer replied. Pointing at Noor, Mr. Ismail sneered. "Take that girl instead." Zuffer was stunned. "Take who?" "My daughter. She's useless. Take her to the city as your payment." Noor's heart shattered. She dropped her broom and stared at her father. "Daddy, please no." "Be quiet," he barked. "You should be grateful someone wants you." Mrs. Zainab smirked, arms crossed. "Good. One less mouth to feed." Noor fell to her knees, pleading, sobbing, shaking her head, but no one cared or listened. Zuffer gazed at her. Though broken, she was strikingly beautiful, not just in appearance, but in the resilience of her spirit. "She's beautiful," he murmured. "What's that?" Mr. Ismail snapped. "I'll take her," Zuffer said. Just like that, Noor's life changed. Tears streaming down her face, she packed her belongings into a black plastic bag. No one embraced her or offered blessings. Her young half-brother, Bilal, stood behind the house, weeping as he waved farewell. Noor followed Zuffer to the city. The journey was long and exhausting, the bus winding through towns, trees, and dusty roads. Noor sat by the window, staring out, her emotions a tangle of uncertainty. She was leaving the only home she'd known, painful as it was, with no idea what lay ahead. In her heart, she prayed, "Lord, please don't let this man be cruel like my father. Grant me peace. I'm so tired." Zuffer was quiet, lost in thought, occasionally glancing at her and sighing. She looked so worn, so fragile, as if she'd carried too much pain. When they reached the city, everything was different. Towering buildings, gleaming cars, bustling crowds, and constant noise. Noor clutched her bag tightly, trying to hide her bewilderment. She'd never seen a city before. They took a tricycle to a quiet street lined with flowers, stopping at a large black gate. Zuffer knocked, and the gate creaked open. Noor gasped, speechless. The compound was spacious and pristine, with a white-painted house that looked like something from a film. Flowers lined the walkway, and a small fountain bubbled in the corner. They passed the main house and stopped at a tidy little building behind it, with one bedroom, a living area, a small kitchen, and a bathroom. "This is the boys' quarters, where I live," Zuffer said, smiling. Noor looked around. The place was clean and serene. "I just got a job as a security guard," he continued. "The owner, A kind woman lets me stay here for free. Noor was astonished. Really? Yes, he nodded. She lives in the main house with her son. As long as I keep the compound safe, I can stay. To Noor, the small house felt like a palace compared to the mat she slept on in her father's kitchen. It had a solid roof, a locking door, and a bed with clean sheets. For the first time in years, she smiled faintly. If this is God's plan for me, so be it, she whispered. Zufar looked at her. Are you okay with this? She nodded. Yes, I feel peace I haven't felt in a long time. 2 days later, Nora woke to the aroma of something delicious from the kitchen. The morning sun filtered softly through the window, casting a calm glow. She stretched, feeling rested for the first time in years. No shouting, no beatings, just peace. In the kitchen, Zufar was frying something. Good morning, she said softly. He turned, smiling. Morning, Noor. I made breakfast. Did you sleep well? Yes, like a baby, she replied, and they both chuckled. After breakfast, Zufar said, Get dressed. I want you to meet someone. Who? She asked, curious. You'll see. Just wear something simple. She put on a soft gown Zufar had bought her, brushed her hair, and followed him to the main house, her heart racing. An elegant woman in her late 50s opened the tall black door, her eyes kind and demeanor warm. Good morning, Ma, Zufar greeted. Morning, Zufar. And who's this lovely young lady? This is Noor, my wife, he replied. The woman, Mrs. Nargis, smiled warmly. So this is the wife you mentioned? She's beautiful. Come in, dear. Noor stepped inside cautiously, awed by the gleaming, luxurious living room. Mrs. Nargis took her hand gently. Welcome, Noor. I like you already. You have a sweet spirit. Feel at home, okay? If you need anything, let me know. Thank you, Ma, Noor replied shyly. After a brief chat, they returned to the boys' quarters. That evening, as Noor cleaned the kitchen and tidied the room, she sat on the bed, lost in thought. Zufar was fixing a loose wardrobe handle. Zufar, she called softly. Yes. Can I tell you something? Of course, he said, looking up. She sighed, fidgeting with her fingers. When my father told me to go with you, I felt worthless, like I was discarded. I feared you'd be worse, shouting or beating me, treating me like a servant. Her voice trembled, tears welling up. But you didn't. You gave me peace, respect, and even cooked for me. She wiped her face. Thank you. I don't regret coming here anymore. I believe this was God's plan. Zufar sat beside her, taking her hand. I'd never hurt you, Noor. That's not the man I want to be. He paused. You know, I liked you from the first day I saw you on the farm. I wanted to approach your father but feared he'd reject or insult me because I had nothing. When he offered you instead of payment, I was shocked but secretly happy, like a door had opened. Noor looked surprised. I don't love you yet, Zufar, she said softly. I know, he replied. I'm not rushing you. She nodded. But I like how you treat me, like I matter, like I'm not a mistake, like a queen. He grinned. That's because you are a queen, Noor, just hidden in the wrong place. She laughed softly, wiping a tear. For the first time, she felt truly seen. Though love hadn't fully bloomed, respect, peace, and trust were taking root. A month later, Noor's life was brightening. She cooked in the boys' quarters, experimenting with recipes she jotted in a notebook Zufar gave her. Her confidence grew. One afternoon, while helping Mrs. Nargis with groceries, the woman said, Noor, sit with me a moment. Noor sat, wiping her hands. Mrs. Nargis smiled. Zufar says you're a great cook, and I agree. You're humble and hardworking. Thank you, Ma, Noor said shyly. My cook moved abroad with her family. Mrs. Nargis continued. I need someone trustworthy to take her place. I've watched you, and I believe you're the right person. Noor's eyes widened, tears forming. Oh, Ma, thank you so much. God bless you. Mrs. Nargis patted her hand. You deserve it, dear. Nur hesitated, then said, Ma, can I tell you something? Of course. I want to earn money, not just for clothes, but to go to school, to university. Mrs. Nargis's face lit up. You want to study? That's a beautiful dream. I'm proud of you. Noor's heart swelled. Thank you, Ma. She rushed back to the boys' quarters, bursting with excitement. Zuffer, Mrs. Nargis made me her new cook and will pay me monthly. I told her about university, and she was thrilled. Zuffer hugged her. That's my wife, my world-class wife. Noor laughed, blushing. It feels like a dream, and it's just beginning, Zuffer said. That night, lying side by side, Noor couldn't sleep, her mind racing. She turned to Zuffer. Can I ask you something? Anything, he said, facing her. Why haven't you touched me since I came here? Zuffer blinked, surprised. I mean, we're married. Another man might have done it the first night. He sat up, voice calm. I didn't bring you here to use you, Noor. I brought you to love and protect you. I see your pain, even when you smile. I don't want to add to it. He held her hand. I want you to be ready, to love me first, to give yourself willingly, not out of duty or fear. You've carried shame and rejection too long. When your father gave you away, it broke something in you. But you're not nothing. You're everything, strong and special. When your heart says yes out of love, I'll be ready too. Tears rolled down Noor's cheeks. You mean all this? I do, he said. I want you to feel safe. She smiled, whispering, Thank you, Zuffer. You've changed my life. I thought all men were like my father, but you're different. He kissed her forehead. Sleep well, my queen. For the first time, she felt truly safe with a man who was not just a husband, but a friend. 2 days into her new job, as Noor prepared vegetable soup in the main house's kitchen, the door opened. A tall, handsome young man, Cameron, Mrs. Nargis's son, stood there, staring. He smiled. Damn, you're beautiful. Mom said you were smart and lovely, but I thought she was exaggerating. God must have taken his time creating you. Noor felt uneasy, focusing on her cooking. Good afternoon, sir, she said quietly. Don't call me sir, Cameron laughed. Call me Cameron. No, sir, that's not proper, she replied. He smiled and left after a few minutes. That evening, Noor told Zuffer, Cameron said things that made me uncomfortable, calling me beautiful and saying I should use his name. Zuffer frowned but smiled. That's just Cameron being funny. He's harmless. Noor wasn't convinced. I didn't like how he looked at me, like I'm something to eat. Zuffer laughed, touching her hand. Don't worry, my beautiful wife. If he crosses the line, tell me. I'll protect you. She nodded, but unease lingered. Days later, Cameron entered the kitchen again. Noor, I've been thinking, he said, stepping closer. I like you. You're beautiful, smart, hardworking. I want you to be my girl. I'll change your life, send you to school abroad, give you a phone, clothes, money. You're wasting time with that poor security guard. I can have him sacked or paid off. Noor stepped back, voice firm. With respect, sir, I'm not interested. I'm focused on my marriage, work, and dreams. Cameron laughed. Marriage? You should be ashamed, stuck with a broke guard. I'm proud of my husband, she replied. He respects and loves me. I'd rather dream with a man who loves me than live a fake life with someone who wants to use me. Cameron scoffed. You'll regret this. If standing by my husband is a mistake, I'll make it again, she said boldly. He left, clearly displeased. That evening, Noor told Zuffer everything. His fists clenched, but he softened seeing her face. What did you say? I told him no, that I believe in you and us. Zuffer hugged her tightly. Thank you for standing by me. They prayed together that night. The next day, Noor's heart was heavy. Tired of hiding her discomfort, She went to Mrs. Nargis. "Ma, I need to talk. Cameron's been disturbing me, promising money and school abroad if I leave Zuffer. He said he'd sack or pay him off." Mrs. Nargis looked shocked, then said softly, "Noor, you're wise and beautiful. Maybe Cameron sees your potential. Think about it. We could give you everything, even pay Zuffer to leave." Noor stood, trembling but firm. "With respect, Ma, I'm not for sale. I married Zuffer because he stood by me when my father discarded me. I'd rather quit than betray him." She raised her hand politely. "If your son doesn't stop, we'll leave. I won't stay where I'm disrespected." She walked out, tears streaming, and returned to the boys' quarters. There, she found stacks of money on the table. "Zuffer, what's this?" she asked, stunned. He smiled. "I've been saving this for a business, but seeing you defend me, choosing love over wealth, I want you to use it for university." Noor shook her head. "No, Zuffer, this is your dream." "I'm serious," he insisted. "So am I," she replied, standing. "Let's use it wisely. Rent a room, start a business together. I'll help you run it, and when it grows, I'll go to school." Zuffer stared, awestruck. "You're not just beautiful, you're wise. You're everything I prayed for." They kissed, a kiss born of trust and unity.